Hey, it's Kelly. And normally when I come to these videos, always and forever historically, I have had a very specific plan, and it was going to be short and sweet and give you value and, prompt someone on here to improve something, like to feel better, to be more aware. But then I got off social media for a long time. And now I'm back here and there. And one of the things that I recognize is that if you're my friend and you talk to me regularly, or you're my client, there's all this spontaneous stuff that comes out of me. It's just, it kind of comes out and then it takes form, and it's usually the thing the person needs to hear. And so I've come to this relationship with this part of me that wasn't always public, because being, a young woman who was blonde and fairly attractive, I always felt the need not to be too much. I would always organize myself and do my best to present myself well so that people took me seriously. And so what's happened is that I don't really feel that way anymore. A lot's changed. And I'm to a point in my life where it's just the reality is like, I'm just too much a lot. I'm too much for people when I'm just happy, or joyful, or loud, or I just get talking really fast and I have something really insightful to say and people are a little bit uncomfortable with that. It's out of control. And in a culture that is all about control, I mean, look what's happening. It's like, at the highest levels, there's increasing attempts to control the people. So I know a lot of people feel this way. A lot of women particularly feel this constant moderation. And so I have felt that, and I'm really not feeling a ton of that anymore. But I realized one of the areas was on social media, because all of a sudden putting yourself in front of a bunch of people is very uncomfortable. Or like going on LinkedIn and posting something, well, you're in a professional area, so it should sound this way and look this way. And you can feel the vibe, you can feel the energy of these different sites and the collective expectation. But in reality, I know that's not my path anymore. And for a lot of women, it's not the path anymore. That's the truth. It's like I'm just watching these particularly young women that I'm watching, like 30s and 40s, that are just themselves. And to me, I'm like, hallelujah, this is like amazing. So what's been on my mind lately as a result of watching and noticing, and me just like more and more and more letting go of anything that stops me from just fully expressing myself. First of all, what I want to say about that is that the reason I'm becoming more and more familiar or more comfortable with sharing this is because what would happen? Like, I'm a loving, kind, generous person. That's the truth. That's my nature. Do I do everything from loving kindness, generosity, and all that? No. There are, I get stuck in my head and I do things that aren't, but generally I'm like, if I'm just being fully myself, that means more of that goodness. So why would I ever moderate myself for anyone else? Why would I try to be more masculine, more controlled, more niched, more organized? It just doesn't even make any sense. So anyway, sometimes it takes a long time for a message to get through. Or like I have known this my whole life. I've been such a weirdo and so different my whole life. But yet I was always trying to just, don't get too weird, Kelly. Come on, you're already weird enough. Like, get back in the lane a little bit. You don't want to be totally rejected. So anyway, so I know women do this all the time. And what I'm realizing is I don't want to do that anymore. And so I was having this wonderful conversation with my friend, Madeleine. She's a writer. She's beautiful. She's been my friend since, I think, 2014. So it's so glorious to have wonderful friends that keep you thinking about different things. So I said, hey, Mad, I've been thinking about this thing about inciting incidents. And so she's a writer. So I was thinking about how in any great story, there's an inciting event, like the book's going along, you're getting to know the characters, and then something happens. And then everything changes after that. And so I've been looking at my life, and then I've been looking at everyone else's life, basically the human experience, I would say, and realizing that I'm very curious about inciting events, because when I have created or activated an inciting event in my own life, purposefully and intentionally, nothing is the same afterwards. Lots of inciting events happen to us that are things that either we can be victimized by or they can happen unexpectedly, and then we get to create from them. They become opportunities. I think the majority of people think that life's happening to them all the time and they have no power or control, which I have most certainly known is not true for a very long time. And I think it's only been in the last few years the momentum's really built where I'm like, oh boy, we are really creating here. I am really seeing my active participation in the world. I am creating, you're creating, we're all creating, but there's a lot of conversation to be had around that. So inciting events. Inciting events are these beautiful things, right? Inciting events, what I was talking with Madeleine about is they can happen in like a scope, a range of either an inciting event can be like, I ran into someone random at the store and then we had a cool conversation and that conversation turned my awareness to something else and then a new opportunity arose and then I met that person. And so any moment can be an inciting event really, depending on your perspective and how you think of life. Or there's inciting events like when I paid my first high paid coach was probably over $70,000 I spent that first year. I was like not really making that much money at the time, but I knew that I had faith in myself that if I said yes to this, I was forcing a change, quote unquote, forcing, meaning that I was saying yes to myself at such a high level that I was like, okay, there is no other way except to change. When you spend so much money on your own development to say, please show me where I am limited, right? Show me how else I can do things. That's it. It happens because we have an intent and we take action. And it has happened for me over and over and over and over and over. My whole life is full of inciting events. So I've been really thinking about this because I thought most people do think the world is happening to them. And I'm seeing that happen. It's very interesting. I'm seeing more people recognize that is not the case. I am co-creating here. I am a co-creation with the quantum world that we're in. Or I'm seeing, and I'm seeing more people be victimized by what is happening in the world, and then they're being consumed with fear and not having any control over it. And so what's happening is they're creating more of that. So inciting events are just so fascinating to me. I think it's worth looking at our life and thinking about, this is interesting. So I just created another inciting event for myself. I will be going to Peru. I spent a lot of money. I'm going to Peru. I'll be doing plant medicine. It's a 12-day retreat or like maybe 9-day retreat or something. So anyway, it's a retreat in Peru. I'll be doing plant medicine 5 days. Hello, inciting event, right? 5 days of plant medicine. I have no idea what's going to happen. Only that I have a great intent to remove the limits that I still have within me to being the most loving, kind, helpful, generous, present person I can be. And you know what's going to happen? Because I'm actively choosing that. Whatever comes out of that event will be in that trajectory. Either I will have things that will happen that will light up where I'm not that, or things will happen that will elevate me more in that. There is not really any other way in the quantum world. And then the other thing is that I started recognizing, wait a minute, every time someone works with me, it's an inciting event. So what happened over time is I tightened up the parameters of my work with someone so that I am on board with that, with them. They say yes, we make a commitment for a certain time, and boom, there's gonna be some magic created in that container. That specific amount of time, like the yes, here's the credit card, yes, I want that, help me, is an inciting event. As soon as I run those cards, that card number, whoom, what else is possible? So inciting events are everywhere. They're constantly happening around us. You know, you actually walking down the street and you see something happen that was unexpected. Boom, inciting event. My mother dying a few years ago, inciting event, completely changed me, right? These types of things. But an inciting event can be someone just deciding they're going to say something different. So I had to make an active choice recently that I will not be the old Kelly that will live in moderation. I had to make an active choice that I would have the courage to be who I want to be. Well, what does that require of me? It requires a ton of inciting events. It requires me to be constantly paying attention and be willing to be like, I want to be free. So what will it take to be free? I have to become Kelly who is free. Give me the inciting events that are going to provoke that. And as long as I stay focused on that intent, it will happen. I will become, and I am already in the last many months, I am a new Kelly. I'm not the old Kelly. So it's really fascinating to look at inciting events. And so I don't have anything grand in here to tell you, except maybe it's a consideration. Are you willing to create an inciting event for yourself? Go somewhere, do something that you're not familiar and comfortable with. Say something you're not familiar and comfortable with. Change something. These are inciting events. So as we do this, it's like, and you don't have to do big ones. Like I love to do big ones because I love to be like, all right, let's go leap off the cliff. I'm changing and let's go, right? I like that. That's how my personality is. Not everyone's is, but that doesn't mean you don't do it. Doesn't mean you don't get the book, hire the coach, go on the trip, break up the relationship, start a new one. These are all things that can help us evolve into the person we want to be. How fun can life be when you realize, shit, man, I am creating this. I am an active participant here. I'm not a victim to this. What a boring way to live, to be a victim to what's happening. The Newtonian cause and effect that we all grew up with. No. This is a far more fantastical, magical world of possibility. Whew, it's so cool. So anyway, I'm talking about inciting events lately, and I thought I would get on here and talk about it with you. So there you go. Maybe I'm provoking something for you today.